welcome back. Welcome back to First Take. A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts will be on the same field today for the first time since A.J. Brown was traded, as the Pats and Eagles hold a joint practice in Foxborough. Brown joins the Patriots following a 4-year stint that included 3 second-team All-Pros for the whiteout. Now, before being traded to the Patriots in June, Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown were a force to be reckoned with in Philly. But in 4 years as teammates, Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown connected for 318 times for 4,700 yards and 29 touchdowns, leading the Eagles to a Super Bowl 59 win over the Chiefs. They did a lot of things together, guys. That's the point of that intro. But now they are not together. I'm curious for you, Kevin.
Yes.
How good does Jalen Hurts have to be to get the Birds back to the Super Bowl?
Better than he was last year, and he has the capability. He needs to play great. That's any Super Bowl quarterback, whether it's Sam Darnold or Patrick Mahomes, needs to play great. I think he can. This new offense, I was there in practice 2 weeks ago. It is what a quarterback should want. Middle of the field type of stuff, playing tricks with the linebacker's eyes. It's going to be easy answers. Mekhi Lemon in motion. You're going to have layups in this offense. I think that's what's really cool, and Jalen Hurts has got that capability. I think that he's become criminally underrated because we over-discuss him every single day on every single show. And I just feel like he's got this capability with the downfield passing, using his legs more. He did not use his legs efficiently last year. Part of that was on the offense. Part of that was also on the offensive line, which had Saquon Barkley getting hit behind the line of scrimmage more than he ever has in Philadelphia. So I think it's going to be a bounce-back year. I think they win this division. That's the one thing I've changed my mind on the last couple of weeks. They win this division because I love this new offense in general.
Oh, okay.
Look, I think he needs to be good. He doesn't have to be great, but I think he has to be better than he was, obviously, in 2025, where his QBR dropped to top 20. In 2024, he was top 10. I think that's where he needs to be, right on the fringe of top 10 in meaningful quarterback metrics. Look, obviously, I think in order for them to get to the Super Bowl, a lot of the things have to go right like they did in 2024, namely the health of the offensive line, has to first and foremost be what it was then. You can't have Cam Jurgens playing at maybe 50%. You cannot have Lane Johnson missing more than 3/4 of the season. You just can't have that. You have to have your offensive line. It has to be healthy. The running game has to be a big part of this. And quite honestly, the health of the wide receiver group has to be a big part of this too. Devontae Smith has to be big for them this year. Everyone in Philadelphia believes he can be wide receiver 1. Everyone has had tremendous respect for him since he came into that building. He proved it when he was at Bama. He's proved it when they've asked him to do it when he's been in Philadelphia. He just needs to stay on the football field, stay healthy. Mekhi Lemon has to get healthy. He has to get time on task with Jalen Hurts so he can develop that trust. Octavian Wicks seems like he's already showing what he can do when he has ample opportunity. Eli Stowers from Vanderbilt has to show what he can do. The defense, Vic's going to take care of the defense. I'll tell you this: if Hurts can be top 10 in QBR, they'll be in the NFC title game. If he's not, look, I believe Dallas is going to be right there, and I think the Rams are going to be there, as the other team, as the other opponent in the NFC title game.
He has to be top 10 in QBR, you said?
Yes. Okay. I think he needs to be there.
He's a very hard guy to evaluate because, let's face it, in the 2 Super Bowls, he won the MVP in one, and he could have won the MVP in the other. He had the fumble, and then they gave him the free field goal on the hold, which drove me crazy, which Kansas City won the game. So that's not, and then the other thing is, he orchestrated when they were 10-1. They collapsed. They lost their last, 11-1, whatever it was. They lost their last 5 or 6 games, and they got mauled in Philadelphia, and he was in Tampa, and he was the quarterback there.
Right.
And last year, he was terrible. Now, A.J. Brown helped because he dropped passes, but he was awful. He wasn't good against San Francisco. He got beat at home against the Niners, and he was not good. He was bad at the end on the 4th down sequence where he forced the ball in the middle of the field. He didn't play great there. So he's a hard game to evaluate. He's tricky. He's got a lot of great things, and he's done great things. But no A.J. Brown, maybe that's a positive because, he doesn't have to listen to that. He's got the 2 other receivers. I think Philadelphia, now you seem to know him better. I know Kevin now I got to be sharp with him because he.
Kev's on it, man. He does his work.
Otherwise, he wouldn't be, but you're here. He's really got to.
I'm not sure about Sinner and Alcaraz at the U.S. Open, but he knows the football. So I have to be careful there. I think the Eagles could go either. They could go one way or the other. They could be really good, a la what you say, or they could, stumble a little trouble finding their identity. Barkley, 2 years older. Yeah. They could go there, too. I'm not exactly sure where to go with the Eagles.
So, Kevin, I want to ask you, because we've talked ad nauseum about Jalen Hurts and the criticisms of him. he's on his 5th different offensive coordinator in 6 seasons under Sirianni since he became the starting quarterback. How much control over his success level does Jalen Hurts have? Because important pieces have changed around him consistently.
Yeah, he has a lot. I mean, I think that he is the driver. He's the engine of the offense, and he gets disrespected enough to people think that it's everybody else but him. He's the 11th most important person on that offense. He's the only guy that gets blamed for having help. And we say, oh, well, Josh Allen needs a DJ Moore. Okay, we went out and got that. Okay, we talked about the deep ball with Patrick Mahomes. Okay, he's got to have Xavier Worthy take a step forward. Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase. He has help. They have help. When Jalen Hurts gets help, we go, oh, whoa, no, that's too much help. We blame him for having help in a way I find disrespectful. So the answer is yes, he will have a lot of impact on himself and that offense.
And we credit Howie Roseman for being a great GM.
Exactly right. It's always somebody else doing the work.
Quick final word, Lewis, go.
No, look, I think betting against Jalen Hurts throughout his career will have cost you a lot of money if you decided to do that.
Bingo.
I think last year, look, when you look at his efficiency when he was under center, I think he had 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He didn't have a lot of attempts under center. That's not his fault. He may not have liked it, but it was effective when he did it. I watched all of his snaps from under center just last night in my hotel room. He can play in this type of offense. He looks very good doing it. This is an offense, the way in which they want it to evolve, that should do nothing but benefit him. He should have a top 10 quarterback type of season. I would not bet that force multiplier. Yeah. That is a culture changer that says, hey, look, all this crap that has happened in Cleveland since back in the 1990s is over. Yeah. I'm bringing a different mentality in here as the most important player on this team, the franchise quarterback. So they don't just have to get the right guy from can he throw the football? Can he roll out? Can he pick up first downs with his legs? He has to be uniquely put together from the neck up to really kind of help change what has been years of futility at that position. That guy has to be special, man. And I think they need to sell out in order to get it. If they don't have it on their roster right now with Deshaun, and with Shador, they need to sell out to get it. Whatever it takes, Andrew Berry, he has to get it because he's done everything else.
Well, with Andrew Berry, when they have draft picks, Andrew Berry has knocked it out the park. The problem is there was a long stretch of years where they didn't have any first-round draft picks because of that. I'm curious what you think about the Browns. Do you agree that, like Kevin's example, are they like this amazing, I don't know?
Well, they're going to have to get lucky. I mean, the quarterback spot, you get a pick, you're going to have to get lucky.
Some of it does come down to that.
I love the Myles Garrett trade because they weren't going to win with Myles Garrett anyway. I know he's the best defensive lineman in football. Would they get a #1 pick and they got cursed for that? That's a good trade. Yeah. For a franchise that is not ready to win right now, Garrett's 30-something years of age, trade him on a high run. I understand why the Rams did it, but I love that trade. I mean, I love the Hunter trade, which they made a couple years ago with Jacksonville. It was a good trade. So I'm with you guys. I think Barry's done a good job. There'll be a lot of quarterbacks coming out in the draft. You got Arizona's going to need a quarterback. They're going to be bad. The Browns are going to need a quarterback. They're in a tough division. They'll be competitive, but they probably won't win more than 6-7 games, so they have a chance. And then the Jets. They need a quarterback badly, too, and they're going to be bad. So they should be in a situation with 2 #1s to get somebody who they can put their – they also need a big-time wide receiver who's going to be able to break open these games.
Yeah. So it could be one of the 2 rookies, by the way.
Maybe.
So I want to ask Lewis this because you just heard Doggy say the Browns will need a quarterback. I'm curious what you think about the Browns' current quarterback situation. Do you like the way Cleveland has gone about its quarterback competition?
Look,
is the quarterback on the roster?
I really did feel as though that this truly needed to be a quarterback competition as opposed to maybe what took place in Minnesota, depending upon how you feel about that. I thought that was Kyler Murray's job to lose. I thought Kevin had already kind of made up his mind. He just needed validation of it. He just needed Kyler to come in and show what he thought he would show, and he did. That's why they made the move in the declaration immediately. In Cleveland, this needs to – I heard some people talking about the fact that, you know what? They need to go ahead and make a decision now because that starting quarterback needs reps. He needs time with the first-team offense. You know what? In a normal situation, yeah, he does. But in this situation, they need to let this play out. They need to go ahead and give Shador now his time with the first team and really make a true encompassing determination of whether or not does this guy have the ability to start football games and have us throw all of our resources behind him. So we need to give him the same opportunity they gave Deshaun. And if you, in your objective and subjective judgment, feel as though he is not the guy, sell out and get your guy in the next draft. Because I'm telling you, this team is set up. It's set up, man. But you got to get the right player from a physical skills perspective and makeup.
Kevin making a lot of faces. What do you think about the Browns quarterback competition?
This quarterback competition is just a quarterback away from being a great competition.
Wow.
All it needs.
Wow.